it's great to see you. Today we are working on some Valentine's cards using the Hugs and Kisses kit from Lollipop Box Club. I have got these card and envelope blanks in my stash, so I'm going to use these, but if you don't have them, you could definitely just fold plain white card in half. I've also got my mini envelope punch board and my scoreboard. So you don't see me do this step, but at the end I actually ink the edges of this using the same ink that I'm about to use to create the background. For the background, I'm using a heart stencil from Bramble Fox, and I'm just putting that on top of the card, on top of some scrap paper so it doesn't mess up my desk. I'm using a pink Tim Holtz ink, I think. This is the only one I've got, so I'm using that lightly through the stencil to just put some little hearts on the background. If you haven't got a stencil like this, you could definitely doodle some little hearts. I think that would look super cute. Then I'm grabbing out all of my kit supplies and I'm choosing a paper to make into a mini envelope. I decided to do the 1x2 inch envelope, if I remember rightly. And I use this scallop paper that you can see on the left hand side of the screen now. Cutting that down to size and then just punching it as I am instructed to by the envelope board to make the 1x2 mini envelope. Then I have a quick look through the ephemera and decide that I want to use the XO heart, but that I want something on the inside of the envelope. So I choose this pink grid paper, also from the kit. I need a bigger piece than the one I've got here, unfortunately, so I can't use that scrap. But I just use this one to line the inside of the envelope, cutting out sort of a random sized piece, making sure it's the same width as the inside of the envelope, and then sticking that on with some double-sided tape, flipping over and cutting around the side of the envelope shape that's already there. And this just creates like a pretty inside pattern for the envelope, for the bit that you can see anyway. There we go, so once that's done, I can stick the envelope together and then I go ahead and stitch around the edge. So just all around all 5 edges. I don't bother doing all the little detaily bits because I would have had to do that before I stuck it together. So literally just go all the way around the edge, and I think it just adds a little bit of extra something. Then I decide the background needs something a little extra as well. So I choose this pink glittery tulle from AliExpress and I ruffle that in the centre and add that on top of my heart stencil design. I need a way to stick this down that doesn't show too much, so I decide to add it on with stitching. As you can see, I've stitched at the top and the bottom here, and that holds it on nicely and it looks pretty as well. You don't have to deal with any unsightly glue or tape strands. I love to add stitching to projects wherever I can. Now that I've got my sewing machine, I don't know how I would craft without it. I absolutely love the way that stitching looks on paper projects. Trimming down the tulle and then working out where I'm going to put my little envelope. There you go, I've stitched around the edge now. And then I decide that I want this tucked under the tulle slightly. So it's going to live there. And then I want this little XO heart poking out as if it's coming out of the envelope. I think that looks super sweet. I choose this other little red heart as well. I think about using these flowers, but ultimately they don't make it. I think they look cute looking back at it, but at the time I just liked the heart on its own. Then I pull in all of the other bits from the kit to have a look through, see what else I want to use on the card. I decide to cut out a piece from this postcard. So this is a little speech bubble with a heart in it, sort of similar to the like notification. So I want that one sort of coming out of the envelope as well. Fussy cutting that and then just popping that onto my card. It still needs a little something extra, so I'm going to add some word stickers. I love that some of them are coloured, because I think it sort of pulls the colour to the corners of the card. I often do like a diagonal sort of embellishment cluster, and I think these really help with that. So I'm adding one down the bottom on the right and two in the top left. Ultimately, I decide that these need to stand out a little bit more. So I do back each of them on more of the paper from the kit, more of that scalloped one. And I just use different parts of the paper to get different borders for each of the words. This is a great way to use up scraps as well. So this one with the heart, the scrap you can see on the screen now, I used to create my scrap therapy page earlier in the month. That was also using this Hugs and Kisses kit, so I will make sure to link that down below if you're interested in seeing how that one came together. I'm actually really enjoying making some things just for fun, so I'm hoping to share a lot more of that on my channel this year. Just backing each of these on different colours. I'm looking through to see if I want something different, but I decide on, I think, using the pale blue from this scrap. There you go, I was just looking for a piece that had enough of that pale blue to back this word sticker. Then I think we are on to just sticking everything down. So I use a ton of foam tape for this one. I add foam tape to the back of the 𝓬𝓱, the pinky purpley heart. I use hot glue for the envelope, as you can see here. I add foam tape onto, I think, all of the tiny words. The little heart speech bubble. And I think the plain red heart stays flat to the page, but I really like the texture that foam tape adds. It makes things stand out so much more, and I really love that. So this bottom word says Happy Valentines. I can't read the two in the top left. Doesn't help that I've just turned them over. I think the pink one says I love you. I'll have to wait until I turn the third one over. The 𝓬𝓱, I add foam tape on the top part of the heart, but not the bottom, so that the top stands out from the envelope, but the bottom of the heart still tucks into it nicely. There you go, yeah, I do add the red heart flat to the page. And then add foam tape onto this speech bubble. Or is it a notification bubble? I guess it's a notification, isn't it, if it's got a little like symbol in it. I mean, that's me presuming, sorry, that I know what it is. That's what I think it is, I should say. I'm interested to know what this third word sticker says. I can't remember, so I'm just as intrigued as you guys. Yeah, that one definitely says I love you. Be mine. There you go. The last one says be mine. And I'm just dealing with some pesky hot glue strands. Do you guys find that they get stuck absolutely everywhere? Constantly peeling them off of projects. These sequins were on my desk. The bigger tub I think is from Happy Mail Obsessed. And the smaller one I want to say is from Cheryl, I think. And they're on my desk in with my pink sequins. So I've just poured a bunch of those out on my desk and I'm choosing the ones that match the kit best. And I'm actually turning them into little sequin clusters. So I'm tripping over my words. To do that, I am choosing 3, I believe, and sort of just sticking them really close together on top of each other. I see Claire, who is the Curious Trinket, do that a lot, and I love it. It looks beautiful. So I spend quite a while messing with this, clustering my sequins together. I was actually watching a film while I was doing this, and now that I am doing more voiceovers, I am enjoying that a lot when I'm crafting. So I'll film, I'll put a film on in the background like a movie, and then I will voice over later on. And that seems to work quite well for me at the moment. What do you guys do when you're crafting? Do you listen to YouTube, or are you someone that watches a film? A series maybe? Who's watching a series at the moment? I just finished Sex and the City, and now I'm starting the And Just Like That, the new, like the reboot. So I think I'm on episode 2, so no spoilers. But I'm really loving watching that while I craft. I'm still messing with these sequin clusters. The trick to this, I think, is using sequins of different sizes. So for each cluster, I seem to have gone for one big, one medium, one small. And that looks really pretty, in my opinion. When I'm done with sequins, I add enamel dots as well. So I've got lots of sparkly glitzy bits going on this card. Or do I add gems? I think I might add glitter glue. That is a great thing to use if you don't have loads of the Nuvo drops and all of that sort of stuff. Glitter glue, you can get it in Pound Shop. Where else? The Range, and it's usually like £1 a bottle or something. It's really inexpensive, and it's brilliant to add just little dots of instead of gems or sequins or any of that stuff. The only downside is it does take a while to dry, but I think it's totally worth it. There you go, I'm using glitter glue. So these are the Stickles glitter glues, or at least this one is. This one is, I want to say, Stardust. The other white one I use is called Icicle, and then this lilac-y one that I've got in my hand now is actually a Dovecraft one that I picked up in Poundland. It doesn't actually come out as purple as you'd think it would. It has sort of like a pink tinge to it. Adding all of the glittery spots. I always go a bit mad with this step. And then this is our card complete. Like I said, I go back and ink the edges, but other than that, this is it. Thanks so much for hanging out and crafting with me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be back to craft again with you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.